Good morning all. Today's topic of discussion is VLSI testing and analysis part 5. Objective of this lecture is to make the students familiar with design for testability JTAG boundary scan method. What is JTAG boundary scan? Boundary scan is a method for testing the interconnects, that is the wire lines, on printed circuit boards or the sub blocks inside an integrated circuits. So here we are going to study in context of integrated circuits. The boundary scan is also widely used as a debugging method to watch integrated circuit pin states, measure voltage, or analyze the sub blocks inside an integrated circuit. The Joint Test Action Group, that is JTAG, developed a specification for boundary scan testing that was standardized in 1990 as the IEEE standard 1149.1-1990. In 1994, a supplement that contains a description of boundary scan description language, that is BSDL, was added, which describes the boundary scan logic content of IEEE standard 1149.1 compliant devices. Since then, this standard has been adopted by electronic device companies all over the world, and the boundary scan is now mostly synonymous with JTAG. To ensure the test development and testing of boards containing VLSI chips, it is significantly more effective and less costly. The Joint Action Test Group, that is JTAG, is a boundary scan standard. To allow for efficient testing of board interconnect and to facilitate isolation and testing of chips either via the test bus or the built-in self-test hardware. So we will see the details of this IC with boundary scan register and the test access port. The test bus circuitry consists of test access port consisting of ports associated with TMS, TCK, TDI and TDO. Along with that, we have a tap controller, a scannable instruction register and the associated logic, and a group of scannable test data register. So in any VLSI chip, the important block is the core logic, and to support this core logic we have this added thing, which is nothing but the boundary scan. So these boundary scan cells are available on the periphery of the chip, and one boundary scan cell is associated with one IO pin of the chip. So we have the test data input, that is TDI, the short form is TDI, and the test data will be inputted through the IO pin into the chip, and then it will run through the different boundary scan cells, which I have shown with blue color, and you can just see how these boundary scan cells are connected in a chain, and the data will run through these boundary scan cells, and then it will complete that periphery path, and then finally the data will be outputted as a test data output, that is TDO. Now this test data input and test data output, they will be compared, and if there is any problem in any boundary scan cell, then this data will not match, and then we can say the boundary scan test is failed. So we have only two options, either the boundary scan test is passed or the boundary scan test is failed. So if data will match, we can say the boundary scan test is passed. If it is not matching, then we can say that boundary scan test is failed. Now the activities of this boundary scan cell and the data which will be connected in a chain fashion and running through all these boundary scan cell, all these activities are controlled by the extra hardware on the chip, that is nothing but the test logic and the tap controller. This tap is nothing but the test access port controller. This controller will generate the different control signals for all these boundary scan cells, and it will check this boundary scan. To this tap controller, we require some control signals as test clock, test reset, and the test mode select. So once you will select this test mode select input of the tap controller, the control of test bus circuitry is carried out by the tap controller in a response to state transition on the TMS line. TMS is nothing but the test mode select. So the test mode signal will control the activities of the tap controller. So tap controller will come into picture and it will start working or generating the control signals as soon as this TMS select input is applied. These activities are synchronized with the test clock, that is TCK. So the important signals associated with this boundary scan are test clock, that is TCK, a test mode signal select, that is TMS, then the test data input, that is TDI, and the test data output, that is TDO. So we'll see the details of this tap controller. This tap is the test access port and includes these important signals: test clock input TCK, clock for the test logic, can run at different rate from the system clock. So system clock and the test clock, they are different. Then we have test mode select TMS, switches the system from functional to the test mode. Then we have test data input, that is TDI, accepts serial test data and instructions used to shift in vectors or of many test instructions. Next we have test data output, that is TDO, serially shifts out test results captured in the boundary scan chain or the device ID or the other internal registers. Then we have test reset, that is TRST. So optional asynchronous tap controller reset is available. Now we'll see the more details of the boundary scan cell, that blue box which I have shown in that block diagram of the IC. So this boundary scan cell, that small block, contains 2 flip-flops and 2 multiplexers, and this cell can be operated in 4 different modes. So there is a normal mode, then scan mode, capture mode, and the update mode. So operation of the test bus in the associated logic, we have 3 different steps. First, instruction is sent serially over the TDI line into the instruction register. The selected test circuitry is configured to respond to the instruction. So as per the instruction, the circuitry will respond and the test instruction is executed. So these steps will be followed, and now we'll see the detail of the first mode of operation of this boundary scan cell, that is normal mode. In this normal mode, the data runs from port in to port out. So this particular normal mode operation is shown with yellow color. So data is available as in over here. It will run over the line. It will go to the multiplexer. Now multiplexer, it is having two inputs, so the select input, that is mode control, is given as logic 0, so that it will select the input IN and then that will be connected to the output. So this is the path followed in the normal operation, in which the data is taken from the IO pin and then it will be given to the internal logic. So this is the normal operation of the IO block, in which that test mode is not coming into picture. The IO pin will function only as an input pin or an output pin. It will take the data from the external world and it will just get connected to the internal logic and give that signal. It will just pass on that signal to the internal logic. Now the next mode of operation is scan mode. So now we'll see the details of that scan mode. So for the scan mode also, again these are the operation steps. Instruction is sent serially, then select the test circuitry as per the instruction and then execute. So in this scan mode, the connection is made from S in to S out, that is signal in to signal out. Now this particular mode of operation is shown with blue color, how the signal flows. So signal in, so internally some signal which is generated, that is taken. Now this multiplexer select input should be set to 1, that is shift DR. The data register is set to 1, so that the S input, signal input, will be selected. Then that signal will be applied to the flip-flop. Now for this first flip-flop, if the clock DR signal, that is data register clock, is applied, then the data will move from this flip-flop D input to the Q output, and then that is available as signal out. Now this, in this scan mode, as we have to apply the signal from one boundary scan cell to the another boundary scan cell, so as they are connected in a chain fashion, so internal logic is not coming into picture. So signal will be taken from one boundary scan cell, it will run through the multiplexer and flip-flop, and this action is controlled by the control signal shift DR equal to 1 and applying the clock DR, which is generated by the tap controller, and then accordingly the signal will be available as S out. Now this S out of one boundary scan cell will be connected to the S in of next boundary scan cell, and likewise the signal will run from one scan cell to the next scan cell in a chain fashion. Now we will go to the next mode of operation, that is the capture mode. Now the capture mode is shown with green color. In this capture mode, the signal is taken from port in and given to the S out. So from the external IO pin, from the external world, the signal will be taken and pass on to the S out, which is connected to the next boundary scan cell. We will see the path and which are the control signals required. So data will be taken. So again the same instructions, operation steps will be followed. Data is taken from input IN, run through the multiplexer. The select input of multiplexer, that is shift DR, is set to 0. Then it is connected to the first flip-flop. the clock DR signal is applied to the flip-flop so that the data will be shifted from input to output at the clock edge, and then it is available at S out. So capture means capturing the signal from the outside world, that is the process, and hence the name is capture mode. The signal from the IO pin is captured and given to the boundary scan cell at the S out. Now the next mode of operation is update mode. So these previous steps till the output of this flip-flop 1 will be same, and after that the update mode will be performed. We will see the operation. Now the update mode I will be showing with pink color. Now again the same operation steps will be followed. So data is taken from the first flip-flop. Update DR, that is the clock signal for this next second flip-flop, is applied. From there the data will be given to the multiplexer. Now in multiplexer again we have that mode control signal. That mode control is now to be set to logic 1 so that the output of second flip-flop will be selected and then it will be given as the output. And this signal is given to the internal logic. So we will be taking the signal from the outside world. It is available. That signal will be captured in the capture mode, and now in the update mode that same signal will be given to the internal logic. So the combination of capture and update mode is used for updating the signal from the outside world to the internal logic. So all these activities, this boundary scan cell operation is controlled using the tap controller, which is a test access port controller. And this tap controller is having a state diagram which consists of to control the operation of data register and to control the operation of instruction register. So the same TDI pin is used in this JTAG to accept the data from the outside world. This data may be the actual data from the user, or it may be the instruction of the tap controller. So in this state diagram we have the facility for checking whether the data at TDI is a data or a instruction. So you'll see the block diagram for this tap controller. The tap controller is having the important inputs as TMS, that is test mode select. The next state is determined by the logic level of line TMS. Another important input is TCK, that is the controller changes the state only when a clock pulse on the TCK occurs. And the outputs of this tap controller, these are the different control signals for this boundary scan cell, that is select, scan data sequence is initiated. Next is capture. The data is loaded into the data test register. Third is shift. So 1-bit shift can be obtained by this signal. Then we have exit. The test data registers hold their own state. Then we have pause. Temporarily hold the scan operation, allowing master to reload the data. And then finally we have the update. That is, the test data register is loaded from associated shift register. So now we'll see the state diagram for this tap controller. So the first state is the test logic reset. So whether you want to go for the testing or you want to perform the normal operation. If the data as TDI is 1, then remain in the same state. If 0 comes, then go for run, test or remain idle. If 0 comes, remain in the same state. If 1 comes, then go to the next part of the tap controller. The tap controller state diagram is basically divided into two parts. One is related to the data register and the other similar exact replica is related to the instruction register. So if 1 comes on the TDI pin, then select data register scan, and that branch of the state diagram will be executed. If 1 sequence will come, then the exact replica related to the instruction register will be executed. Now in this both instruction register and data scan operation, you can see the similar steps are there, whichever we have studied in the operation of the boundary scan cell. Like the first one is select DR scan, then capture data register, shift data register, and then exit data register. Then pause, exit to, and then update. All instructions related to the data register. In the instruction scan, again similar steps are there related to instruction register. And then after updation, again it will go into the run test idle mode or the test logic reset. And the similar steps will be repeated for taking either the information from the external world or from one boundary scan to the another boundary scan. Thank you.